Good morning, everybody. Wow. 2 days in a row on a weekend. It seems that our weekend shows are getting to be a habit. That's okay. I'm loving it. Hello, Joe. Slim, with my glasses on. It would help if they weren't on my head. There's just me. Aaron's loving the music. Me too. Me too. I have to have my music to get me going in the morning. Hello, Scented. Angel P. Hello, Honey Buns. Hi, Nani. So how's it going? How'd your Saturday go? Yesterday, a lot of you guys were in here for the show for Ohio. There's going to be another one, but it's going to be on the backup channel. That way, we're not confusing true crime with other stories. So anyway, I know a lot of you sub to that channel. If you didn't, it's posted on the community tab. Hello, Steph. Denise, just me, husband's making her breakfast. That's what I'm talking about. Hey, Connie, I haven't seen you in a live in a long time, babe. How's it going? Ann just got to work. Damn, you shouldn't have to work on a Sunday, but that's okay. We're all together. Aaron said that was an awesome show. Well, thank you, Aaron. Thank you. All right. So I was not planning on doing a show about summer for a while because, as you know, when I cover summer, it is, well, yes, what Dawn and Candace have to say, I definitely talk about. What Grandis has to say, I talk about because, well, they're her family. And a broken clock is right at least twice a day. Eventually, something's going to be said that is the truth. There's got to be some truth in there somewhere. The rest is the FAQs, TBI Twitter, press conferences, you know, because you've been here. The other stuff I don't get into. I just don't get into. It's not helping summer. It's not finding summer. And according to law enforcement, it's hurt their investigation. It's hurt their investigation. I mean, I can't stand Pruitt. I can't stand him. But could you imagine coming in on let's just pick out a day. Let's say a Tuesday morning. Nothing exciting ever happens on a Tuesday, but I have a feeling in Pruitt's world it does. You come in, you check your voicemail, you've already taken a deep breath. And what do you hear? Hi, Detective Pruitt, you don't know me. My name is Peggy from Garden City, Kansas. Did you happen to catch Jody Sue's live last night? She is saying now that she was with Candace and Grandis all day on the 15th. There goes Pruitt going, FML. We know where Jody Sue was all day. Hence why we don't give a shit about anything she says. Could you imagine? Could you imagine getting voicemails saying, I needed you to check your email right now because I have sent you screen recordings of donwells. He's not supposed to be on YouTube, even though they monitor that stuff. They've already said they monitor that stuff. They're like, And as much as I can't stand them, the frustration is the same. They're still sitting there saying, if you have a credible tip, please call 800 TBI Find. Please. Who could have a credible tip except Candace? That's the question. Who could have a credible tip except Candace? I can't really think of anybody except for her mother. Possibly the son, possibly the boys. I don't know. But now we have a new can of worms that was opened up yesterday on a Saturday. Tim wants a lawyer. He wants a lawyer, a free lawyer, a professional lawyer. This lawyer, this resume sounds like a Liam Neeson movie. This lawyer has to have special skills. We can't just be any free shit lawyer. They have to have very special skills. I was talking to Kat, who's in the backstage, And I said, one thing it doesn't mention is this lawyer also has to be a surgeon, because someone needs to sew Dawn's mouth shut. Things were very copacetic. They were very calm. When people would talk about Summerwells, they talked about the case, whether it be theory and speculation, or they would go back through the events of June 15th, old press conferences, what have you. Here comes the Kool-Aid man. They let him out of jail. He's calm in November. He's calm in December. Suddenly we make a Facebook page at the end of December. We have a new one, by the way, now, because he said the other one was hacked. It was porn bombed. Well, he accepted those people as friends. Okay? It shows they're his friends. It's probably Tim that hacked him anyway. We get a Facebook page. We're back to talking to people. Now we're back on YouTube. Welcome to Circus 2.0. Welcome. Welcome back. Kat didn't like Circus 1.0, so let's see what she thinks about Circus 2.0. Kat.
Hey, happy Sunday. Hi, everyone.
Happy Sunday, Kat.
Thank you. Oh, the circus. Well, I think the clown's called Don. They want their clowns back.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Seems like everything's come out of the woodwork since he's been out of jail. That's it now. He's hit the ground running. Not to actually, talk about Summer or to promote her return, but mostly just in his usual self-promotion type style. Seems like the judge had something to say about that, right?
From what I'm understanding, MK gifted 5 Crime Lines and Lies memberships.
Oh, awesome.
Alex, Lisa, Yvonne, and Furry. Welcome to the fam.
And Jojo.
Fam.
And Jojo.
And Jojo.
Woohoo!
Woohoo! Hell, I might as well just switch this over to a members live right now. That's awesome. Thank you, MK. All right, so I've got some questions for you, Kat, because you've been following this as long as me. It's how we became friends. It's how we became friends with lots of people, to be quite honest. It's through Summer.
Yep.
What kind of an attorney, now this is in your uneducated opinion, do you think the Wells need?
Like Saul Goodman.
Saul Goodman, that's a good, I like that. I saw that on another channel. I got to go find that. Now, threats of lawsuits have been thrown around since June of 2021, and it got last week. I know our friend Trevor was threatened with a lawsuit. I can't speak for East Tennessee, but I can tell you in Northeast Oklahoma, if I'm going to sue somebody, it doesn't take much to do it. It can be a frivolous ass lawsuit. I can sue you for hurting my cat's feelings if I want to.
Oh, yeah, but I wouldn't hurt your cat's feelings because your cat's feelings have been hurt enough recently.
It's been hard. It's been very hard. Thank you. It would take nothing. So, yet, just like everything else with this case, we sit and we wait for the lawsuits and we have nothing. I wonder why that is, Kat.
It seems to be quite a common thing. I don't want to overgeneralize or, put everyone in the same basket that lives in that area. But there's the amount of times I've heard people, especially people that have been involved in this case, say that they're throwing lawsuits on other people for them only to materialize into nothing. I mean, wasn't it Candace that tried to sue Molly Golightly for trespass and then didn't turn up to court? And,
didn't turn up. Yep.
That, whatever her name was, Trisha Jenkins, one woman saying she's going to sue everyone that's ever said her name on YouTube, and Jodie Sue saying that she's going to sue X, Y, and Z person for driving past her house or her caravan, whatever camper trailer thing. Yes. I mean, literally, like every single person in this case at some point or another has threatened to sue someone else, and it just almost becomes a bit of a joke, to be fair. Because it's like, well, you've had like 20 months and where are the lawsuits?
Now, I can say this hands down. I've only had to sue a person one time.
Mm-hmm.
I never had to say publicly I was going to sue them.
Right.
I didn't even have to warn them. I just fucking did it.
Right. Exactly.
And I won, and we were done. I've never heard from that person again. I
No.
have a feeling when their ass got handed to them, we were done.
Mm-hmm.
I don't understand what's going on here. Shit or get off the pot. And
Right.
as much as we love Trevor, go ahead and sue Trevor. Now, a
Oh
lot
yeah.
of people are going to disagree with me. I am 100% behind this lawyer idea. I am.
Yeah, I think like the thing is about it as well is that like if say for example someone like Don wanted to sue Trevor, well, Trevor's got enough evidence of Don calling him all kinds of sick things under the sun that could be produced in a countersuit. So I don't honestly think that anyone's got anything to worry about in terms of that.
You know our friend Stacey Jones, right?
Yeah.
She civilly sued the two people that disposed of her daughter Michaela's body. She couldn't get murder charges. There was too much evidence that was tainted, thrown away, burnt. There was a lot of stuff going on, you know, and I know.
Yeah.
She civilly sued them for wrongful death. In those depositions, they said enough to hang themselves. And
Yeah.
well, now they're both in jail.
Yeah.
Or I think they each have 8 years. Not near enough, but of course that's still going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think about that case. You and I were talking about it, and we've
Yeah.
talked about it a lot. I'm all for this. I'm going to go ahead and I'll be the sacrificial lamb because I've talked some mad shit about these people for 20 plus months. Go ahead and sue me.
Mm-hmm.
Sue me. We're going to go to court, and you see, you have to answer as well. But all
Right.
of that's going to be about why have I been talking about your daughter?
Right.
I haven't been talking about you per se. Why
Right.
have I been talking about your missing daughter?
Yeah.
And from that, when they have to answer that, unless they just do like Dee Dee Spicer in the Kyron Horman case and they plead the fifth, which means they won't win.
Mm-hmm.
Because you got to defend, you got to make your case, right?
Well, if you're the one prosecuting, you have to bring your case against the person that you're suing. You can't just be like, I'm suing this person and I refuse to say why. I refuse to say why. The judge is just going to be like, well, do you know what? If you're going to refuse to say why, then why the hell am I going to take your case?
And I have a right to defend myself. So while I'm defending myself saying, well, I said these things because your daughter has been missing since June 15th. And you said this, and this.
Yeah.
So either you answer to that,
Mm-hmm.
or the whole thing is thrown out.
Right.
That girl bringing the super chats and saying, howdy, depose them all. Let's go under oath. No questions off limits. Let's go. Thank you, that girl. I'm 100% for this. Team Sue. Let's sue.
Team
Not
Sue me
Jody
too.
Sue. Not you, Jody Sue. I'm making t-shirts. Sue me.
So sue me.
Yes.
So sue me.
Mm-hmm. That girl wants to get sued too. We've all had some things to say.
Oh, you can sue me too. I shouldn't think it would be that very easy for anyone from that country to sue anyone from this country, but bring it on. I don't care how much money you spend. I've got nothing to hide. I'll say it to your face as well.
How much is it? Can someone look it up for me? Vet girl volunteers to be the first. Okay, here is your first. Okay, here's the first lawsuit. I'm going to write all this down of the people to sue.
Okay, Vet girl volunteers as tribute.
Vet girl, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer Trevor since he didn't show up to church. I've got Cat, Vet, me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go ahead and let that girl be first because she put the super chat in.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm all for this. I mean, some people were like, oh my God, I'm not putting one dime into getting them a lawyer. Oh, I get it, but I'm 100% for this. Get it. Let's do it. Now, let's not forget Chris McDonough. Okay. Amazing work he has done. We wouldn't have known about the dungeon. We wouldn't have known about what went on throughout the day without his conversations with Hunter. Yep. We know that Dawn has a huge hard-on for him. He hates him.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think, and I don't know the man. I don't think he would have a problem with Dawn and Canduswells suing him. I'm going to go ahead and write him down.
Mm-hmm. And then Josh, maybe. Not that I have anything against Josh personally, but I think that he'd probably be a good person to try and sue because he's got some stuff to say about it all, hasn't he? So,
Okay, that's a good one. That's a good one. I don't know him. I don't want to throw his name out there, but I'm going to throw it back on you.
Okay, you can just say I said it.
Okay, Kat said it. One thing that was said to me in comments the other day, before I get to the comments we need to go through, is someone said, why don't they get the Cold Case Foundation involved?
Mhm.
Well, I spit my tea out. And I thought about the amazing work that Chris McDonough has done for Michael Vaughn in Fruitland,
Yeah.
Idaho. And I thought, why not?
Right.
Could you imagine the day that Dawn has to, well, either go to jail or thank Chris McDonough
Right.
for the work
That
he's
he's
done
done.
for Summerwells?
Yeah. Yeah. See, if Don was ever going to thank anyone for the work they've done for Summerwells, we wouldn't actually be in this position, would we, to be fair?
Ah,
If he had a word of thanks on his lips for anybody that was flying a helicopter over his house, keeping him awake at night while they were searching for his daughter, or for the people that came from Equisearch to search for his daughter that he had nothing but crosswords for Trevor, for all of the money that he's put into the Summerwells Reward Fund and all of the hours that he spent walking that ground looking for something. If Don had a word of thanks for anyone, we would not be in this situation. It's because Don is such a malignant narcissist that he hasn't got a kind word or a good word to say about anyone that's helped him look for his daughter.
after that paragraph, I had to put a few check marks by your name to get sued, okay?
Okay, yeah, sue me. So sue me.
That girl says when someone gives money to a cause and someone else does malicious intent towards information, wonder if someone can sue for their money back. I smell what you're stepping in, and the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
It happened with 9/11. It happened with the Oklahoma City bombing. I can tell it's going to happen with our disaster in Ohio. It's happened with many missing children's cases, and I don't see why this one, even though they say it's outside the norm, wouldn't qualify.
Right.
Absolutely. Let's do some comments. You're going to recognize this music, Kat. Blues Clues. This is after the show that we did for Miss Summer Missing for 20 months. I still can't believe it. That sentence doesn't even sound right, but it is right. Blues Clues says, how far can a 5-year-old girl get in the heat and barefoot? 3:30 p.m. to 6 p.m. Now, mind you, 911 was called at 6:34 p.m. Okay, so but this is the comment. If the professionals, trained professionals, had issues navigating the terrain, how far did a 5-year-old little girl get?
Right.
Barefoot and in the heat. If the professionals, trained grid searchers, had issues, how far could she get?
Not very far, not barefoot. Not through that terrain, because don't forget she was barefoot. Those searchers had boots and, all kinds of outside gear, wearing outside gear. She was running around in a tracksuit with bare feet. Yeah, I don't think she got very far. In fact, I don't think that's what happened.
Drones, choppers, dogs. Let's just say, okay, forget the cactus, forget the peppermint from Sonic, forget the peppermint from Sonic, okay? Forget walking into the house. Let's just say, we know our friend Candace, okay?
Yeah.
Let's just say she got home. She got into the rock gut a little earlier in the afternoon than she normally does. She'd had a rough day.
Yeah.
She had to sit in line at Walgreens. She had to go swimming. She had to deal with Allie. She had some stuff going on. So she hits the bottle a little early. All right.
Yeah.
Now we know that Candace, sometimes when she does that, she will kind of fall asleep wherever she's at, whether in church, Chili's, or in her own yard. Let's just say that she was hitting it a little hard that afternoon and she fell asleep in the yard. Okay. I'm going to give her till 4:30 because she's a seasoned drinker. Between 4:30 and 6 o'clock, let's say, when she realized Summer wasn't there, how far in an hour and a half, and going back to Blues Clues comment, how far in an hour and a half can a 5-year-old girl get in that terrain, in the heat, barefoot?
Not far enough away that she wouldn't have been found with the intensive searching that was going on.
Mm-hmm.
Not far away at all.
How did Summer not cause her own commotion when she realized she was hurt or lost?
Right.
Nobody could hear. Her brothers, her grandmother. Let's not forget Wonder Woman across the street with the cigarettes, Jody Sue. She could have heard it, right? She was alert that day. The tree
Right. Oh,
trimmer,
yeah.
the tree trimmers.
Well,
Nobody could
that's
hear
a
the
good
little
point,
girl
though.
screaming.
But that's another good point, though, isn't there? There was tree trimmers in the area. Why did none of them see or hear a 5-year-old child, as she was at the time, running around in the wilderness?
Yeah,
They would have
because
seen her.
they're not trimming the whole time. They would have to get down, refuel,
Yep.
get back up there. It
Yep.
wasn't a constant noise going the
Well, and
whole
also
time.
if they were up trees, if they were up the top of the trees somewhere, they would have had a better view of the area as well, wouldn't they, from up there? It's not likely that she got very far at all if she wandered off, which I don't really think she did. But like you said, how far is she going to get in barefoot in an hour and a half in that
Kids,
terrain?
kids are curious. Kids wander off. Kids explore their own property. And when people yell for them, they follow the voice back.
Right. And also, why would the thing that's never made sense to me about it is why would Candace and Don swear almost on the Bible that she didn't and wouldn't wander off of that property? Why were they so adamant that she wouldn't wander off the property? Their only thing that they've ever said is that she was abducted. They've never agreed that she could have even possibly wandered off.
I have my theory on that. It's just a theory and an
Mhm.
opinion. One, you're not going to rake in any cash for a child that wandered off your own property.
Right.
Two, they're idiots and they honestly think child neglect is a worser charge, as they said, than murder.
Right.
Yeah, that's the one thing that they fight everybody on
Yeah,
is that
that
she
makes
wandered off.
sense. Right. No, she definitely didn't wander off. She was definitely abducted, even though Don claims to have never been there on the day when she went missing because he was at work. So he wouldn't know if she wandered off or not. And Candace wouldn't know because either she was fixing her mum's knee brace in those 2 minutes or she'd been passed out for a good couple of hours. So how would she know either? It's just they're so adamant about it. I don't think she
And
wandered off at all.
I don't think she wandered off either, because I do think that the investigators with the FBI, the TBI, I will even give Pruitt some credence, are smart enough that in 20 months they should have the capability to rule out foul play. That is what they have
Right.
said. There's a possibility she's wandered off. Leslie even said one time, there's a very real
Yeah.
possibility she wandered off. But they
Mm-hmm.
can't rule out the foul play. Now, the behavioral panel, they don't think Dawn has anything to do with it.
Right.
Dr. Phil said, I don't think you know anything. I loved how he phrased that. But they have said,
He literally doesn't know anything
he
about
literally
anything.
said that to him, and Dawn smiled. Dawn smiled
Yeah.
back at him.
Yeah.
The card unit said there's no sign of an abduction. They didn't say there's no sign of handing her to another human being. That's not an abduction. An abduction is almost like there's a disturbance, I guess, is what I'm understanding. But we'll get into that later. But they have all looked, and there's many people who have studied Candace. God bless them. God bless them. They have all said Candace knows more.
Yeah.
Candace knows more, but Dawn knows nothing. Dawn doesn't know shit.
Right. Which makes it quite interesting that Don is supposedly the spokesperson for his family, considering he, has been ruled to know nothing by Dr. Phil and claims to have been at work all day. Yet he still claims to know that Summer had her mouth covered and she was muffled scream like an animal all the way down that hill where she was taken. All of that stuff. It's almost like white noise with Don. Can't really believe or listen to anything he says because it's all conjecture and hearsay on his part because he wasn't there.
Yeah. Summer U, talking about the wandering off theory, said if she wandered off, she would have been found already. She
Mm-hmm.
would have yelled back when everyone was supposedly screaming for her.
Yeah.
It wasn't just Grandis and Candace supposedly yelling for her. There were
Yeah.
other people. When Robin got there were many people on that hill looking for
Yeah.
her.
Yeah.
How do people ignore the nastiness we have seen from the family of a missing child? Well, we don't, and we try to put that to the side as much as we can, but when they throw it in our face, it has to be talked about. So I agree with
Yeah.
that comment. Tiff said, Brooks. Dawn said Summer hit her head and fell in the water.
Oh
It's on
man.
channel blank, blank, blank. Okay, this is what I'm going to say. Dawn follows social media. Dawn obviously he must be in a Facebook group or something for, what's her name, Nicola Bully in your area?
Oh, Nicola Billy, yeah.
Yes, okay. Just like he compared her case to Evelyn Boswell, except he left Candace out of it. Just like he said she'd been hit in the head with a hammer. Just like he said that she was carried down the dog trail gasping for air. Just like he said he knows what hotel room she's in. Now, that is from a movie that had just come out on Netflix.
Yep. Yeah, he doesn't have any real original thoughts of his own, does he? He watches too much TV and then or YouTube and then just goes by what he hears other people saying in other situations.
But I will say this about Dawn saying that, because I think we can all agree on one thing. We can all agree on this. Summer is gone.
Yep.
Summer is gone. Extensive search, and I'm not talking about by Frank Light wandering around drunk. I'm talking trained searchers knowing what they were doing. Equipment, not Hawkins County equipment. They brought in the big guns. All right. They didn't even as much as find a broken branch, Johnson grass laying down where she could have fallen down. They didn't even find a swatch of a t-shirt. This is according to them, not me. I wasn't there.
Yep.
But
They
when
haven't
Dawn
found
said,
any evidence.
No, she's just, we can agree she's gone.
Yep.
She's gone. Now, the head of the TBI did go in front of the state Congress last spring. A lot was going on last spring. And he did mention the summerwells case and equipment that could help. Now, this is equipment where they can actually see through rock. Okay, so we talked about the caves. Dawn says this. Trevor was explaining to me the geography and how far the Tennessee River is from their house.
Right.
Summer is 40 pounds. That is a very swift river. Now, I have never heard that the Coast Guard drug the Tennessee River.
No. But I have heard that they search waterways and other bodies of water near there. But then this seems to have come up within the last couple of weeks that Don now thinks that she hit her head and fell into the river. I mean, this stuff.
Well, that particular river, I believe, is by car, it's 20 minutes away.
Right.
And she'd have to know how to get there.
Yeah, exactly.
And somebody would definitely have seen a little girl wandering to the river.
Yeah.
But somebody could have drove her.
Well, yeah. Someone could have drove her, but then that kind of makes you think it's even weirder that Don would have that in his head. Because why would you suddenly think after 20 months, oh, maybe someone drove her to the river and then she was wandering around and hit her head and fell in the river? That's not ever been a sort of a theory that he's ever put out there or had before. But now 20 months later, he suddenly thinks of that.
I wonder if he's ever read the FAQs on the TBI website that is just for his daughter. It is dedicated just to Summer. Even though people say there's a cover-up, they have an entire section on their website.
Yep. Yeah, I'm wondering if Don's ever read anything apart from Ellen White's book, obviously.
And social media.
And social media, yeah.
Because we know where this came from. This is a case in your country right now. People think that this woman fell down and fell in the river. Some people believe that.
Yep. Yeah. Well, that's kind of under review what they're thinking at the moment anyway, because there's a huge search going on, like literally right now, for Nicola Bulley in that area, and it's not connected to the waterway search. It's in that area where she disappeared. They've got a huge search going on. So Don might have just jumped on a bandwagon there with no understanding or anything. I mean, the terrain where Nicola Bulley went missing from is not the same terrain as where he lives. He needs to be thinking a little bit more locally when it comes to his area, rather than saying that she wandered, I don't know how many miles did you say it was, 40 miles to a river and then hit her head and fell in.
I don't think it's that far. I think I misspoke. I have to look at it again. I put it in the Crime Lines and Lots Facebook group.
You might not have said 40 miles. That might have just been what I thought. But she's not going to have wandered that far and fallen into a river. I mean, talk about clutching at straws, Don.
Well, and he has a plethora of answers in his own house if he wants to think about it.
Right.
His beautiful bride that's probably passed out in the recliner right now. He could wake her up and ask her, what about the pillow that you guys mentioned?
Right.
What about you leaving 2 more times according to the TBI? Because Candace is the one that said they told her they knew she left 2 more times.
Yeah.
What did you leave for 2 more times? What about the black tote that you and Grandis? Where is the black tote?
Yeah.
See, I have several things just from following the case, and I'm not an investigator. I don't know 0.5% of what they know.
No.
But I know what I'd be asking.
Right. And it just makes me wonder, because Don lives with her and Don's with her all the time. Does he buy her bullshit? Because as far as I can see, he's asked her no real hard, tough questions. And if he has, he's taken whatever she says to be the answer as the gospel truth. He doesn't challenge, like he won't challenge her. He just believes her. He said, no, Candace would do that. If anything happened to Summer, Candace would have taken her to the hospital. Candace would have told me about it by now. It's like, really? You really think that? You really think that by now Candace would have told you the truth? Is that what you really think? Because I think that she's been lying since day one, and Don's just been colluding with her and letting her get away with saying and doing whatever the hell she wants.
I mean, I understand that Don and Candace aren't primetime ready. I get it. They're not, I mean, I get it. They do things different. We've understood that for almost 2 years.
Oh yeah.
There's other children who have gone missing whose parents also were not considered Ivy League educated. And when they say they don't know, they honestly don't freaking know.
Yep.
Think about Morgan Nick in Alma, Arkansas, 1993. Her mom was sitting on the bleachers watching the baseball game. She said, yeah, go ahead and play with your friends or whatever. They have a composite sketch. They have an idea of the vehicle that the guy was in, a very good idea. Yeah. But Colleen can't tell you because her back was turned to where they were playing. She doesn't know. How can Candace have these different stories? Now, she has stuck to one recently. Instead of just saying, I don't know, I'm freaking out. That girl says, I want to know where and what clothing Candace was wearing that day. We've never heard that.
Well, I mean, I should imagine it was her rebel flag hat and her wife beater vest top and her knee-high short thing, like that she was probably wears every single day. She certainly wasn't wearing the Mum Patrol t-shirt.
Team Rose says, taken for a drug debt so Don could stay alive. Don was in jail for almost a year.
Yep.
Almost a year. There's an entire department of the FBI that does nothing but track down these drug debts, drug deals. I mean, I give it to you. That's your opinion. But I just really think with all eyes on this case, and all the investigators, they could figure out a shitty drug deal of Don's.
Yeah.
That's just me.
Yeah. I don't know much about it, but I just kind of don't know if drug dealers take children in return for drug debts. That's just my personal opinion.
What are they going to do with them? That's been
Right.
talked about over and over and over again. And they have a proof of life of her for June 15th. The
Yep.
TBI says they know she was alive on the 15th. They know. They
Hmm.
know she was seen.
Yep.
Fundaski said something is up. Now, this comment's going to take us a minute to get through.
Okay.
She said something is up. I love Fundaski's comments, by the way. I wonder if the boys, now this is in reference to Tim wanting Liam Neeson to be their lawyer. Okay.
Okay.
I wonder if the boys are finally talking about being on the hill, about Dawn telling Candace that someone was up on the hill, according to Hunter. The way Dawn didn't drive up to the house when he got home, but instead goes to the shed. 1, drop off drugs. 2, pick up the boys so it looks like they have been with Dawn all day at work. He said, I'm thinking that maybe Dawn was not supposed to be living in the house. I have wondered that myself. It was said by Dudley that he was camping out because he was not supposed to be at the house.
Yeah, I've heard that as well. I don't know if it's true, but I have heard that before.
I lost my place. She said, okay, I'm thinking that Dawn was not supposed to be living in the house and was living in the shed because of the case from October 2020. I've wondered that myself. Dudley said that Dawn had taken to sleeping at the job site on occasion. Who is blackmailing them? We're going to go through it sentence by sentence.
Okay.
Who is the defamation against?
Yeah.
CPS said they might have contacted the state of Utah from 1994 case and Wisconsin case to get the information that they did not tell them about. The lawyer for Dawn and Candace was the false representation. That information from the other cases and their behavior issues on YouTube, Dr. Phil behavioral panel, did not sit well with the family court judges. Agreed. You did yourself no favor.
Right.
And
Did they ever?
And the guardian ad litem. Okay, so the guardian ad litem is watching all this stuff, and they're the ones in charge of making sure the boys are safe. You have one of the most popular television shows in the history of television, Dr. Phil. You have them saying to Candace, we think you know something. That doesn't help you getting your boys back.
No, it really doesn't.
That doesn't help you. She said, I think that they don't want the boys to testify against them whatsoever, which is a good reason to get them back in your custody, right?
Right, absolutely.
Tim would not be able to get his movie or book deal. He's been talking about Hulu. He must really like Hulu. He's been talking about Hulu since, I'd say like August of 2020. How long have we been doing this? 2021, sorry.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's got a dog in this fight. Even if we don't exactly know what it is, he's definitely got a dog in the fight.
Oh, he does.
He's not supporting them for no reason. Not supporting them out the goodness of his heart, in my opinion.
Let's not forget that he reached out to the mother of abducted Michael Vaughn and offered his services to her. She had no idea who he was. It didn't take us 2 seconds to let her know. Dawn said, foster care leads to detention centers and then prison. Dawn, are you trying to intimidate your boys?
Well, that's a good point, isn't it?
Funny that Dawn said that because it had recently been talked about with the CPS audit, the scathing audit that they got in Tennessee, where they said statistically, they said foster care leads to prison.
Right.
Then here comes Dawn as if he had an original idea again.
Yeah, exactly. And then he knows full well that his boys are probably watching or are going to hear about that. And they could take that as an almost like Fetkel said, like an intimidation.
Team Rose said, should they go back? My opinion is no. 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 No.
Never.
They have not ruled out foul play, Team Rose. They if Candace doesn't know, Candace doesn't know. They have ruled out, the card unit has said no abduction. So either she wandered off or something foul happened on that property. So they can't be entrusted to take care of minor children. They can't
No.
take care of themselves.
Well, and also Candace has said things on YouTube like, I promise I'll never hurt my boys again. I have to focus on my boys because they're still alive. Now, we don't actually even know the extent of how they were suffering, the reason why they were taken away in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we know what we saw, the inside of the house and all of that kind of stuff with when Chris McDonough went up there. But Don still says, well, it was all YouTubers' fault why my kids got taken away in the first place. Was it really? Was it, Don?
But then he also says he was frustrated with what was going on. He was drinking heavily, and it became an unsafe environment for the boys. That makes more sense. Also, the boys were taken shortly after the card unit conducted their investigation, saying no abduction happened on this property.
Right.
That was on the 26th. On the 25th of July, 2021, is the first time Don said he needed a lawyer. The next day, the boys were taken. That's that's an interesting timeline for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's a very interesting timeline. Let's get to this real quick.
And didn't Ronnie Lawson say that they'd lawyered up anyway? That's why they weren't cooperating. Well, he was in jail.
Yeah.
Well, they're not cooperating. They've lawyered up or whatever.
So
don't they already have lawyers then, Tim? Why do they need another lawyer? Is it because that the lawyers they had then, that Ronnie Lawson said couldn't actually work with them because every time they told their clients not to go on social media, there they were on social media the next day, for example?
That's the $64,000 question.
Mm-hmm.
This time last year, okay, so he had a public defender to navigate him through the waters of his DUI violation of probation. Yeah. All right. The courts have been extremely lenient with this family, I believe, because they have a child. Because when he got that DUI in October of 2021, I'm losing my mind here. Okay. It's been too long.
I know.
When he went to court a couple of days later, drove himself with a suspended license, I'll give that, the judge could have put him in jail that day.
Yeah.
And said, no, you're going to jail. You know the terms of your probation, but he didn't.
Yeah. No.
He let him sit out. And it was February 7th, around this time last year, they put him in jail. So they've been very gracious with them, extremely careful with them. Also, because let's face it, there's not many people in East Tennessee. I would say, well, I don't want to give Don, I don't want to inflate the ego. Don is one of the only people in East Tennessee that can get the attention of WJHL, and they will call a conversation with Don their top story and run their biggest advertising before and after the segment.
Yep.
Don is one of the only people in East Tennessee that can get an exclusive interview with People Magazine.
Mm-hmm. Well, look who their media manager is.
Yeah. So they have to be very careful with that as well.
Yeah. They don't want no lawyer standing there going, no, you're not going to do any interviews on WJHL anymore. You're not going to be doing any interviews on Dr. Phil or People Magazine. You're going to leave this to the lawyers to handle and the lawyers to defend you, blah, blah, blah. Don's not going to listen to any of that.
No. And okay, so like I said, here's the $64,000 question. This time last year, Lawson said they have lawyers. Mm-hmm. We already knew that Don was in jail. Yep. So we thought, well, they all lawyered up. There's Grandis. I don't have a lawyer. They know how to get a hold of me. Thanks. Thank you, Grandma. All right, so we don't have to worry about her. She don't give a shit. She's like, you can just call me if you need something. She don't care. She was taking a nap. Yep. All right, but Candace and Don, they had a lawyer.
Right.
They had a lawyer to navigate them through the family court situation. Where did that lawyer go? Because I know in November of 2022, that lawyer was still on board. Where did that lawyer go?
Wherever that lawyer went wasn't standing in front of their clients saying, my clients have no comments to make at this time. Either they sacked off the lawyer by that point, or there was no lawyer by that point, because any lawyer worth their salt would have told them not to go and say, I don't have a lawyer. As far as I know, Candace don't have no lawyer either. That was the last time I saw her. There'd be no lawyer on earth that would allow their clients to do that kind of interview. But yet there they were. She's writing handwritten notes and passing them to the press.
I'm that bitch, Mama Bear said. That lawyer
Right.
probably got smart and jetted. That's what I'm thinking.
I
Because
agree.
just because you were assigned by Hawkins County or the state of Tennessee, however you do it, a lawyer can go to the judge. I'm not saying face to face. I'm not trying to set this up like it's TV. They can send a damn email and say, I can't represent this person.
Right.
Let me tell you why. I just told my client, Mr. Donwells, that there's an issue with communication with his boys because it is believed that when his wife calls them, she's drunk, and she's not charming when she's drunk. He called me the N-word. He called me the N-word and said he's going to whip my ass. So I prefer not to represent them.
Yeah. And I mean, there are lawyers that will obviously represent the most cretinous of criminals, really, because some of the things that people are accused of are real heinous crimes that lawyers will defend them, because obviously everyone has the right to a defense. But if you're talking about other matters like defamation and all of this kind of stuff, it's only going to be a matter of time before the person that you're trying to defend of defamation defames you, and then you're done with that person, right? Whether you're their lawyer or not. Especially a free lawyer. Why is a free lawyer going to be doing pro bono work for somebody that's going to speak to them like that when they're drunk, or fight them, or do whatever the opposite of whatever they say to do? That's not someone that wants a lawyer. That's someone that wants a punch bag. And I don't think any free lawyer is going to be like, yeah, I'll be a pro bono punch bag for donwells and Canduswells,
Yet I'm all for it. I'm for the lawsuits. I'm going to start with that. Let me put this up on the screen, Kat. We're going to, you know how we do. We're going to have to go through this sentence by sentence. No bullshit here. All right. We're going to start with, this is on the Find Summerwells page. Lawyer needed, this is in bold. Okay, Kat. I don't want to confuse anybody. They need a lawyer. Sentence 1, Kat. I am looking for a professional lawyer I can recommend to the Wells. A professional lawyer. We don't want a grimy. We don't want someone that it took him 6 times to pass the bar. We want a good-looking cat, by the way, that looks good on TV. I want a professional lawyer.
I.e. a professional that's earned their way to the top of their profession and usually charges a lot of money. Because we don't know anyone like that, because obviously we've never been in need of a lawyer before. So we need a professional lawyer, please.
Don't want no jailhouse hack. I want a professional lawyer. Like, who's that smart AF dude who's always on News Nation? Mark Garagos.
Yeah.
He can do it. Kat, I'm telling you, I'm all about this lawyer idea. I'm more about the lawsuits. I've already got you and Vet Girl down. I volunteered. Vet Girl, well, I think with what you said, which was very scathing, I think you're going to skip to first. Trevor is going to get sued for sure. We can't forget Chris McDonough, okay? I want the lawsuits, because then they have to answer. And the questions they have to answer are all about what nobody wants to talk about, and that is summer wells.
Right. And you can't sue if it's true, right?
Let's do it. I'm requesting this on my own, not as a family spokesperson.
Okay.
Why did he go above the head of his human boss?
Right, exactly. My human boss has not given me permission to write this, but I am requesting a lawyer on my own, on their behalf. He can't have it both ways, can he? He can't be requesting the lawyer on his own, not as a family spokesperson, but also requesting the lawyer because he thinks that the Wells need a lawyer.
Something got his Daisy Dukes in a bunch. Radio Gaga said, bring on the depositions.
Yep. Deposit me.
That girl is back in first for getting sued first. Thank you for the sticker. She said Sandman worked as a paralegal for a huge law firm in Kingsport. He also has a real estate license, vet girl. The main lawyer passed last March. Sandman is playing games. He can get legal help. What's he doing?
All right. He knows if he works as a paralegal for a law firm and he knows a professional lawyer, why does he not know any professional lawyers that he can recommend to the Wells if that was his job?
Probably because no one can stand his ass and no one will do
Right.
it for him for free.
Uh-huh.
And I think we have learned in this case, because not one person in this case, and let me tell you what, we know every one of them. We know Grandis, we know the whole family tree. We know Jody Sue, we know all their addresses, where they've been, their old phone numbers. We know Allie, we know Grandbun, we know Sherry, we know Hunter, we know his girlfriend, we know his girlfriend's mom. We know all of these people.
Yeah.
We know every damn one of them. And every one of them are never shy to talk. Never. Ever. But we also know that every damn one of them has thrown out their Cash App for one cause or another, and that cause has never come to fruition. It's gone in their pocket.
Yep, exactly.
George McCauley said Alex Murdaugh should be free soon. He can represent the Wells, and he would do a great job.
Is he a Tennessee based?
South Carolina, but see, state lines don't seem to matter to Tim.
Oh, okay, yeah, obviously. It's minor detail, right?
So he said, I'm requesting this on my own, not as a family spokesperson. Okay, so we went through that. Now, this is where it gets very complicated. We need a special type of attorney. I have Liam Neeson pictured in my mind.
Okay.
I want everyone to bear with me. We might have to go over this one a few times. Gabby's mom is back. Gabby's mom, how are you doing, Hans?
Get Daryl Brooks to represent him.
Daryl Brooks could do it.
Sorry.
But that is actually a good idea, because he can get mail in jail. Okay, like BTK has been helping solve unsolved cases. It's the weirdest thing. Let's have Daryl Brooks.
Sorry, that's just the funniest thing. Oh my life.
I think they could get a Hulu deal that way.
I mean, from what he's saying here, he is seeming to be looking for like a Hollywood lawyer, right? He doesn't just want any old lawyer.
Oh no,
Here we would say this. It's not just any old lawyer. This is the Marks and Spencers of lawyers that he wants, the best of the best.
Here's the if anyone needs time to get paper and pen to write down what is required, here's the short and curlies right here. The lawyer must be skilled in defamation cases.
Right, one thing at a time. Defamation cases.
Let's talk about defamation. I'm glad you stopped me, Kat. Let's talk defamation.
Okay. What possible defamation has the Wells? Sorry, because we're not just talking about Don here. This is a lawyer being recommended to the Wells. So what defamation do they believe that they have experienced?
I'm going to let chat have that one. I need the Jeopardy music. Should I get the Jeopardy?
And the answer's not O.J. Simpson either.
I threw you guys for a loop on that one, didn't I?
Yeah. I mean, what can they say? They've been defamed. What? Because people said like that they lost their daughter, like their daughter got gone. Well, yeah, we know that. That's an actual fact. That they are not innocent of doing something to Summer. Well, they haven't exactly behaved like innocent people, in my opinion. You know, there's not one time where either of them or any of them have actually acted the way an innocent person would act. In fact, they've deliberately done things like play pranks on people on YouTube, to try to prove that they're innocent. I mean, this stuff is ridiculous. I can't see a case for defamation, but I'm not a lawyer, so let's just put it that way. I don't think they've got a case.
Okay, so defamation. I guess I could play that top 10 of things that Don has said himself, or the top 10 of things Candace has said herself.
Yep.
Good morning, Jamie. How are you? Jamie, are you a lawyer? Jamie Lunas, are you a lawyer? All right, so defamation. So when people say, I can't believe they were drunk again, is that defamation? I'm not a lawyer. I'm asking you guys.
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? You can't sue if it's true. I mean, what are you going to sue for defamation and say, I'm not a piece of shit and this person called me a piece of shit? Well, actually, we can prove that you are a piece of shit. So therefore, that's not defamation. It's true.
I'll be the judge going, I can smell it from here.
Uh-huh.
So, or when people say something's not adding up, Candace has to know more about where her daughter is. Is that defamation?
It's not defamation because, well, pretty much changed her story like however many times since the beginning. That looks more like she's defaming the case and defaming her daughter than it does us defaming her, right?
Well, I mean, I could roll the beautiful bean footage from Dr. Phil when he looked straight at her when she was
Right.
about to lose her mind, and he said, I think you know more.
Oh, maybe they're going to sue Dr. Phil for defamation.
Yeah, they're going to sue Dr. Phil. They sat right there. I mean, Don was happier than a pig in shit because
Yeah.
he was told, I don't think you know anything.
Right.
And
And then he
Don
came
just
back
shook
and
his
told
head.
all of us that he'd been cleared by Dr. Phil. So he was not a suspect because he was cleared by Dr. Phil. So but maybe you should put Dr. Phil on the sue list because I think Dr. Phil's probably going to end up being involved in a defamation suit at this rate.
The list is getting longer. I think I'm going to go ahead and write Dr. Phil down because Dr. Phil is the one and the behavioral panel that said, Candace, I think you know more. I think you know more. And obviously, Don had his thinking cap on that day because weeks later, he was talking to Brian Enton and he said, I think Candace might have made the wrong friends.
Oh, well, there you go. That's defamation. That's defamation of your wife, Don. It wasn't YouTube that said that, was it? It wasn't anyone on YouTube that said Candace made the wrong friends. It was Don that said that. But that's fine. That's fine. I'm still waiting for the to be served my papers.
Waiting on Trevor for sure. Waiting on Trevor. Like I said, in my neck of the woods, it doesn't take anything to sue anybody.
Right.
I mean, they give you time to get your shit together. You just kind of have to have your just cause. You throw down your money. You can do it online. This is not a big procedure these people are making it out to be. Like that one chick that said she's going to sue Trevor for saying that she's a YouTube creator. Okay, mistaken identity. I mean, she's going to go to court and say, if she's not this person, I'm not this person. Okay, hey, Trevor, I'm going to call this mistaken identity. Can you be more careful? Now, as far as you and your monetary claim, did you have to see a doctor? Are you now on medication for what this has done to your mental well-being? Well, no. Did you lose your job? No. Did you get chased out of your church? No. Are your neighbors giving you a hard time thinking you're a YouTube creator? No. Okay, well, we're just going to call this a wash. Let's all be careful.
Right. Are you butthurt? Yes. Well, that's not worth any money. So
we don't have a butt hurt. We don't have butt hurt court.
Exactly.
We don't have an I think court. We don't have a I think mark my words court.
I don't think you have a screenshot court either, do you? Where they like prosecute by screenshots.
Doesn't work that way. It's called evidence.
All right.
Evidence. That's actually what we talk about here. Hence why some people are like, I wouldn't listen to her. Why? Because we're talking about what the police are saying.
Yeah. Yeah.
When the
but we saw a screenshot that said otherwise, Brooks. And you know what? Screenshots are worth so much to YouTube, people on YouTube, and they're worth absolutely nothing to the courts. But these people can keep dreaming that their screenshots are going to get them out of a lawsuit one day.
You better believe it.
Yeah.
All right. Defamation cases. Went through that. Now, blackmail. I'm very curious about this. Now, blackmail is a crime. You don't need a lawyer for that. It's actually a very, very serious crime. And the police themselves will take that off your lap.
Yeah.
If somebody is blackmailing me, you wouldn't see this on the screen. Instead, I would get together what I have. Not my job to do all the investigation, but I'm here to help. I would call the police here in my area. I wouldn't start calling random police stations around the goddamn country. Okay, I'm being blackmailed. And from there, they would either say, well, no, you're an idiot, no one's blackmailing you, or they would say, oh, okay, here we
Hmm.
go. It might take us 6, 7, 8 months to investigate this, but we're going to get to the bottom of it. It's
Yeah.
not going to get done by your next YouTube program, I promise. But it might take us about a year. It might take us about a year.
Well, and
Who's
also,
blackmailing them and for what?
right, exactly, because presumably, like, I'm not victim shaming or victim blaming here, but if you are being blackmailed and you count it as blackmail, then presumably you have to say what it is you're being blackmailed about at some point. Now, if someone's saying, I have evidence that you harmed your daughter, give me money so that I won't tell anyone, that is blackmail. But then you've got to tell people, you've got to tell the authorities that they have evidence that you hurt your daughter for them to blackmail you about it.
Blackmail is taken very, very seriously. And
Right,
odds are, considering it would have to do with the case of
right.
Summerwells, not just someone hating on Dawn,
Yeah,
it would go across state lines. Like that girl said, call the feds.
right.
I'm
But then
being blackmailed.
what reason would you have to be blackmailed? I mean, there's very little in my life, in my whole entire life, that anyone could actually blackmail me with because I'm pretty much an open book. So
Mhm.
if someone is blackmailing you, you have to assume that there's a secret that you're trying to hide that they know about and they want to extort you because of. So you can't say, oh, that person's got evidence of me harming my child and they're trying to blackmail me, because they'll want to know what the evidence they have is of them of you trying to hurt your child or whatever, you know?
What's the blackmail?
Exactly. What is the blackmail about? Because if you have a reason to be blackmailed, then that kind of assumes that you've done something wrong and the other person has evidence of that and is attempting to blackmail you because of it.
And it's a very serious crime,
Exactly.
particularly when you wrap it in with a child who's been missing for almost 2 years. You think that wouldn't be taken seriously, even by Pruitt?
Yeah. I mean, I think someone just said it in Slim just said it in chat. I'm betting Ellie and CPS told them, tell us where Summer is and we'll give you the boys back. In their mind, that's blackmail. Because that,
Oh,
right, that's kind of quite a, yeah,
now this makes sense.
right,
Hey, you know what? If you guys would just give us something to go on so we
uh-huh,
can rule out foul play, so we
yeah,
can clear you, then we'll work with you on getting your boys back.
right,
But until these steps are taken, our hands are tied.
right,
We can't
and
in good conscience even let those boys go up there and visit when we don't know what happened to another child in your care.
yeah.
I
And
would
they've
love to
taken that
never.
as meaning blackmail. I mean, they were only saying a couple of weeks ago that that CPS had kidnapped and abducted their children from them. So I mean, it's very likely that they would assume that something like that was blackmail rather than just being a condition of them getting their children back.
Mhm. And I'm sure they
They-
have said that to them many times. Look, we can help you with your boys, but
Right.
you're going to have to give us a little more to
Yeah.
go on than cactuses and peppermints and got
Yeah.
gone. We can't
Yeah.
investigate got gone.
Exactly.
I mean, our, the whole thing blows my mind.
Oh no, I don't. Tamara just said I don't think that is blackmail, but that's just me. Well, that's the whole point, isn't it? We don't think it's blackmail because it's quite clearly not blackmail. But we know the type of people that Don and Candice and this Tim guy do think that that is blackmail because they did think that CPS has abducted their children. So blackmail is their natural conclusion that they would jump to rather than just being like, okay, do you know what? Maybe we should make some efforts to get our boys back and tell them what they want to know. Oh no, we're being blackmailed.
Mhm. That
And
that this is
Tim's
this is the way they think. They're being
right,
blackmailed.
right,
Tit for tat, however you
exactly.
say it. You tell us more about where we can look for Summer or some idea, something else that went on that day.
Yep.
So then we have the tools to rule out foul play or investigate someone who's not you. And then
Hmm.
we can go forward. Then we can start working on this.
Yep.
But that's not blackmail. That is, I don't know what you call it. What do you call it?
Persuasion or like, well, yeah, like trying to persuade them to tell them what they know, really. It's not, they're not holding the kids to ransom. They're just basically saying that these are the efforts that we want you to make to get your boys back. Oh, we're being blackmailed now.
We're being no, they're keeping them away from unfit parents.
Right.
I mean, when they're told in December, you don't call here anymore because you're drunk.
Mm-hmm.
And we know that Candace is not a nice drunk. I think
Right.
we have heard several arguments where Dawn's like, quit breaking my doors because you're
Yeah.
drunk.
Yeah.
You're breaking doors.
Mm-hmm.
Can't have kids around that. That's the reason it's called Child Protective Services.
Yeah.
So blackmail is probably just them saying, look, we'll help you. You know,
Yeah.
we'll help you with the boys, but you're going to have to, help a little bit here with Summer.
Mm-hmm.
So then we get to false representation. Now, what is the false representation? Are people pretending to be Dawn?
Well, probably. I mean, to some extent, on YouTube, maybe. I don't think anyone could go up on someone's panel and pretend to be Don, because Don's quite obvious when he's on panel. But maybe people have set up accounts called donwells in chat rooms or something. Not quite sure how it applies in real life situations, but
Sword says they remove children when there's an imminent threat of death, yet they've been charged with nothing.
well, yeah, but they also remove children when there's an imminent threat of harm or an imminent threat of neglect, or it's not just about death, is it? It's about other things contributing to that situation.
And
Yes,
the
they
parents
haven't been
get charged. And the parents get charged with something in East Tennessee, that state, that area, hell, in that county. But yet they have nothing. I don't know what the hell we're missing. False representation. Now, I do understand there's some pictures going around. I have not seen them myself. That they are pictures of Summer's face transposed onto other children.
Well, that doesn't surprise me. I know there's a couple of lunatics that do that kind of stuff all the time. Plus, there was, Robin's effort at putting different wigs and hairstyles and makeup and all of that on Summer, wasn't there? But that's, a bit closer to home than YouTube.
That girl said the state removed them, not Hawkins. That's exactly right, that girl. The state of Tennessee did remove the boys. Now, when Trevor was going back and forth with Leslie at TBI, and he was talking about other cases where the children are taken and the parents are charged, she said that is something you would have to take up with Hawkins County. Hawkins County would have to press the charges, whatever those charges may be. And let me tell you what, I can't think of a house big enough on this planet to fill it with all the law books that we have in this country. For where you have one law, there's 20,000 other laws that can argue that one law. But there's got to be some law in some law book that they could at least scare the shit out of Candace with.
Yeah.
Sword says false representation means people are portraying you in a false manner. All they need to do is play his own words to a court.
True story.
You're on thin ice there, Sword. That girl said, Dawn said, if Summer came home today, we would not be allowed to talk to her and not be allowed to see her. This is true. What she's saying here is true. Summer has not been declared dead. Okay, I'm not trying to hurt anyone's feelings. I'm not trying to be grim. Summer, in her missing state, is a ward of the state. If she showed up today, if she came out of the woods and said, I've been hiding the whole time, look at me, they'd be like, you're not going back there.
Yep.
No, she would be put in a therapeutic foster home.
Yeah.
No way. No way would she be returned to them. No way. Okay, so false representation. I'm going to have to come back to that one. This one, I'm going to need everyone's help on this.
Go on.
This attorney is also going to have to be, remember, professional
Yeah.
is also going to have to be skilled, not experienced, but skilled. A skill set is different than just you've dealt with it before. A skill
Right.
set. Privacy issues.
My life.
Privacy issues, everybody.
Yeah.
Privacy issues. I'm gonna give everyone about 30 seconds. Privacy issues.
Because oh, we've got music. Oh, well, we did sort of have music. We can't hear it, but
I don't know why that's not playing. Anyway, just pretend I'm singing.
yeah.
What privacy?
Right.
Here's an active Amber Alert for Summerwells.
Yep.
I'll start with that. That's not private, so we can't blame the
No.
Amber Alert people.
No. We can't really even blame the people that put the wrong photo of Summer on the Amber Alert either, right? We can't really say privacy issue. I mean, privacy issues, right? Don especially, but maybe Don and Candice really, really value their privacy so much, don't they? That's one thing that's really important to them, is that people don't try and interfere in their private lives, which is why we see them on YouTube like literally every single night, because they're really in touch with privacy and really concerned about their privacy. There isn't one person in the whole of East Tennessee that can't know who Don and Candice are, where they live, the names of their pets, the names of their children. You know, there's not one damn thing that's private about their whole lives, because they've put it out there. It's nothing to do with what any YouTuber has put out or anybody else. They have been themselves on YouTube, putting their own faces and sometimes their own asses out there for the whole world to see. And then they go, oh, but we want our privacy. What? Sorry, what was that?
Yeah. We have an active Amber Alert. An active Amber Alert. Card unit says no abduction. They have not ruled out foul play. They have been on WJHL, Dr. Phil. They have been behavioral panel. I mean, several. I don't even know how many YouTube channels. I'm not even going to try to count. People Magazine, Daily Mail, The Sun. So what? I need help. What are the privacy issues? If people are showing up on their property, that's when you call the deputies and say, get them off my property. They're trespassing. That's different. So what are the privacy issues that this skilled attorney is going to need to know?
I mean, whatever privacy issues, they could be as skilled as the most skilled attorney in the entire country for privacy issues, and then they start working with the Wells and then go, well, do you know what, it's not actually privacy issues that they've got as an issue, because they just put it all out there and I can't stop them.
Or are the privacy issues what Jeannie and Mary brought to the forefront? I still don't know where the other 5 people are, and I don't need to know their names.
Well, maybe, but then what's the lawyer going to do about that either? Because that's already out there. It's not something that you can't unring a bell. You can't be like, everything that's happened in the last 20 months now needs to be kept private. It's too late for that. You're never going to stop that train. And I don't think that, go on.
Oh, no, and they told their own business. That's not privacy issue. They told their own private business.
Exactly. I mean, I hate to say it, but I've seen donwells sitting on a toilet. You know, what privacy issues have they got? Any privacy issues they've got, they need to have been thinking about like 20 months ago, not now. And even if they mean going forward, well, it's not likely that any lawyer that has anything can say to them, basically, you know, look, I'm quite skilled in dealing with privacy issues, so don't speak to anyone about this. I can put out a statement and say the Wells refuse to comment, we want our privacy, whatever. But they're just going to go straight up on a YouTube channel and be like, perfect thing. The lawyers keep telling us this. Fuck the lawyers. You know? There is no privacy with that whole, apart from the only people that in that whole family that need privacy is those boys.
That's the ones that need privacy.
Right.
Those are the ones I wish were left alone. Don't even think about them.
Right.
Quit putting your karma their way.
Yep.
Quit putting your karma their way. I was sick. I was sick at my stomach. Sick. On Friday night, I'm not going to say whose chat it is because that person didn't do anything about it. And I'm going to paraphrase. There was someone in there, and I'm watching the chat because when they come in here, they're going to get instantly blocked. They said, I can't wait. I can't wait for it to come out that those boys in summer were essayed by their parents. I can't wait. This
Wow.
person said. I said, oh,
That's vile.
that is vile. That is disgusting. That is a person I want nowhere near me.
Right.
Why would you imagine that? Why would you want that?
Yeah, let alone be so excited for it to come out. I mean, that's just gross. That's gross.
Excited. You can't wait. You can't wait for it to come out.
Right.
I said, all right. All right. I can't do this. That is beyond disgusting.
Oh, it's gross. And it's completely unnecessary as well.
I think it doesn't take a genius to put things together because of things that Don has admitted to doing when he was in Utah or whatever.
Yeah.
But when you say I can't wait for this person, because see, in this case, people like the drama and they don't want the justice.
No, they're not interested in it. In fact, some people I think don't want justice because it would render their channel irrelevant at the end of the day, because their whole channel is based on the drama surrounding this case. So once the drama's done and once the case is solved, they are nothing and nobody, and no one will even know their name, you know. But in terms of privacy issues, I just think privacy for the boys, because obviously they need to be protected, which is why they're in Child Protective Services custody. But when it comes to Don and Candace, there's very little they're going to be able to do to keep anything that they do or say private, because they're the ones that put it out there.
They're the ones putting it out there. Vet girl, send me an email. Hang on, I got to put my email in here. CLL, listen to me type like a sixth grader. Email there. So the privacy issues, we can kind of throw that out the door, right?
Yep, I think so. I don't think any lawyer is going to be able to make them keep their private lives private, because they don't know how to do it, and they don't want to do it either, because they're all about themselves.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah.
Hello, Snow. How are you, love?
Hey, Snow.
Snow just made it in. I'm missing people in here. Lone Star Mom is here. Lip Lock made it in. It's just it's disgusting. And I understand we get wrapped up in these cases, not just this case, but other cases. And there is an element, there are certain people that when they make their mind up, there's no changing it. Even though they have no dog in the hunt. It's not their family. It's not their friends. But they are not going to see anything except for what they think. What they have convinced themselves of. So we've seen it in other cases. Here comes a probable cause affidavit, and they list it all out. This is what happened. And they're like, I don't believe that.
Yeah.
It's like, what? What do you mean you don't believe it? That's what happened.
Yeah.
This is what's going to be presented to the jury. You don't believe it? What evidence did you collect? You've been fucking around on your phone.
Yeah, so far this lawyer has to have a lot of skills, but I think also this lawyer has to have a hell of a lot of patience. And I mean, this is one thing that's not written in his request here, but they need to be the most hella patient lawyer ever to have walked the face of the earth, because the people that they're going to be representing are the people most likely to be defaming other people, blackmailing other people, falsely representing other people, and spouting their own business out on YouTube. So this lawyer is going to have to work hella hard for this family, right?
And I celebrate every bit of this. Another reason that I would love for them to have an attorney is because of the attorney-client privilege. I would love for them to have an attorney and sue people, because I want to see the other side of it when they have to answer questions, and they have an attorney-client privilege.
Yeah.
then they've got someone to spill their guts to, and
Yeah.
we don't have to hear it. We don't have to
Yeah.
see it. We don't Pruitt doesn't have to come in the morning and have 50 voicemails going, Jody Sue,
Yeah.
he was on it last night,
Yeah.
spitting facts like a nail gun.
Oh, my life.
Mhm.
It's true though, isn't it? But yeah, by the same score, I'm not entirely sure how long this lawyer is going to last for with the Wells, but we'll persevere with your request, Tim,
I'm
with
all
this
about
one.
it. I celebrate this. I celebrate. Be the official lawyer for the Wells for working with DCS. Now, they have attorneys they can assign to them for that.
Mhm.
Why don't they do that? Is it because these attorneys tell them to respect the gag order and get off YouTube? Why?
Yeah, yeah, I'm pretty much sure that is it, because if you think about what he said, the case bleeds over into this. No, so whatever lawyer they have working with them from DCS needs to be skilled in all of these other things, because that case bleeds over into Summer's case.
Uh-huh.
So they need someone that can not only do all of that, but also be better at being a lawyer for them with the DCS, who allegedly have kidnapped their children from them, because the two cases are intertwined, as the was it the DA said earlier?
Pruitt said that, and they have to be intertwined. I know some people they take it they believe that they have to make a determination with the boys before they can work on Summer's case. I don't think that's it at all, because those
Mhm.
are two totally separate cases. Two
Yeah.
totally separate cases. They can't even fathom reunification back on that hill between the boys and their parents until a lot of things are addressed. The
Mhm.
number one thing is they have to rule out foul play on that hill the day of June 15th that got Summer gone.
Yep. So are they trying to say that they don't have an official lawyer working with them with DCS, because they must have had a lawyer working with them thus far on the DCS case, right?
Mhm. That person obviously got gone because they did have someone. They did have
Well, they
someone. The
must have.
first time they went to court, it was on
Yeah.
WJHL because
Yeah.
Candace was half asleep.
Yeah.
And Don was sitting there like, he was like really drinking it up. He was really listening to the judge. They
Mhm.
they had an attorney.
Yeah. Yeah.
So besides DCS, okay, now here we go. Private matters. What private matters? Are we filing for bankruptcy?
Mhm.
What private matters? Does that have to do with a book deal? Does that have to do with the Hulu deal that Tim has been wanting to get
Mhm.
done? Are they wanting a George and Tammy style mini series on Showtime? What private matters are we talking about?
Mhm. Divorce lawyer? No, would that not come under the same thing?
That would be Slash Day Lawyer.
Oh, slash day lawyer. Okay, they haven't mentioned that one. Yeah. Private matters. Again, I mean, there's very little that's private with them. So what private matters are they talking about? Like, is it something to do with Candace threatening to blow up Walmart, or I mean, none of
Well,
this stuff is private.
Walmart kind of took care of that. They just said, we better not see your ass in one of our stores anywhere in the world ever again. Keep it up, and McDonald's is next.
Yeah.
Vet said, could it be custody of Summer? You can't make money off of victims per laws in 1991. She's 100% right. But if it's your own child, you can. But you can't. If Summer, let's say if Summer shows up today, where have you
Mhm.
been? I've been hiding. Well, she can't go back there. She
Mhm.
can't go back there. Private matters.
Private
Phew.
matter.
I don't know what private matters. And likewise, odd that he threw in likewise,
Mhm.
and likewise represent the Wells for the ongoing Summerwells case. Now, they have an attorney for that. They may not know. The district attorney of Hawkins County would be the attorney for the case of Summerwells. So I'm gonna mark that off. Okay.
Wouldn't he be the prosecuting attorney rather than the defense attorney, though?
Oh, you mean like somebody, like they would need a criminal attorney? I'm cut from a different cloth.
Okay.
Now, the first time I was called to the carpet, say I couldn't find my child. My child,
Mhm.
ran off at the playground, whatever.
Mhm.
When if I got the inkling, that they were eyeing me, I'd have an attorney.
Right.
You can say whatever you want to say about me on social media. She doesn't care about her children. Why isn't she talking? We'll get past all that later. But I'd have an attorney.
Mhm.
I'd have an attorney. No way. No way would I deal if I think if they're looking at me. Of course I want my child found, but I'm not going to get hung up for it. They should have had an attorney in June of 2021. They took in enough money. Robin has spent a lot of money on this family. She's
Yeah.
caught up for child support. She's basically remodeled their home. Why didn't she
Mhm.
get them an attorney?
But
She
so
knows
is
these
Tim.
people.
So is Tim.
So is
Spent
Tim.
money.
Why don't they get him an attorney?
Right. It just doesn't make sense because remember before when Lawson said that they'd lawyered up and everyone was kind of like, well, why would they need a lawyer if they hadn't done anything? So now they need a lawyer to represent them. Is that because they feel like they're going to be going to court for something that they've done in the case? Or is it I don't know what they would need a lawyer for in Summer's case if they were innocent, if you know what I mean. Like, does it make sense?
I mean, we've talked about it in other cases where we're like, you don't need an attorney, you have the district attorney.
Right, but surely if they were going to be prosecuted for something to do with Summer's case, they wouldn't be able to use the district attorney because he'd be on the state side.
I just kind of like to keep all the balls in his court, if you know what I mean.
Okay.
But no, I see what you're saying. I totally
Yeah.
see what you're saying. 100%. So that sums it up. Now, this is where it gets good. Not
Mhm.
only does this person need to be, I'm talking law review, Supreme Court, death penalty qualified. Let's face it, they have to have a little razzle dazzle. They have to know their way around the courtroom. They got to be able to talk to a jury,
Mhm.
but they also have to do this shit for free. Here we go.
Right.
Naturally, pro bono publico is a dream worth dreaming for such a national high profile case. What they're saying is your payment is going to be the
Kudos.
you're going to get free advertising for
Right.
this.
You're going to be one of the biggest names in East Tennessee lawyering history because you did this for free, and we're going to make sure that everybody knows your name. Isn't that so amazing? What a dream worth dreaming.
You certainly want to be tied to this for sure. Susan said they have a lawyer with the CPS case. They do not. They do not have that lawyer anymore, Susan. So they need to get with the court when they go back for family court and say, we're waiting on our family lawyer. We have a lot going on here. We can't do all this stuff without a lawyer. Everybody has a lawyer. There's a lawyer over there. The kids have a lawyer. We need a lawyer.
Mm-hmm.
We need a lawyer. Naturally, pro bono is a dream worth dreaming for such a national high profile case. Well, national high profile case took out privacy issues and private matters, okay?
Right.
National high profile. So we knocked that out.
100%.
He says, but reality may require otherwise, meaning get ready. Get ready. They may need everybody to chip in on this.
Yeah. Yeah, because if you can't do it for free, if you really, really can't do it for free, then we're going to have to start a GoFundMe to get all of the money together that we're going to need for Mr. Dream Perfect Lawyer who's got all these skills. Reality may require otherwise.
Mm-hmm. Lone Star Mama said, who cares? A lawyer is a lawyer. Not in that world. Not in that world. We need a special skill set. So my thing is with Tim, for one, I'm all about the lawsuits, bring them on. That is perfect. I'm all about that. And also, if you have a lawyer, you don't need to speak on your own behalf. You have a lawyer to do it.
Right.
That's great. I'm all about this lawyer. I think this is a great idea. Get a lawyer. Get a lawyer. I'm not paying for it. Nope. I'm not paying for it. Between Tim, Robin, anybody else they haven't greased at the church, Jody Sue's making money. Get with her.
Yeah.
Jody Sue never had an income up until June of 2021. Jody Sue never got a 1099 in the mail like she does now. Have Jody Sue, she's loving it. So get it going. Get it going. And also, they take payments. You don't have to walk in there with $100 grand. They'll pay as you go, kind of like layaway when Candace used to go to Walmart.
Yeah, sell your Subaru. That'll pay for a lawyer.
There you go. You got some shit around there still. The Wells are in desperate need of an independent, professional lawyer. Send me only private messages.
In desperate need of something. I'm not sure it's an independent professional lawyer, though.
With a special skill set.
Yeah. Yeah, with a special skill set that can only be found on a Hollywood movie set, right?
It's a lot of stuff.
The writers of those courtroom dramas on Hulu have got nothing on Tim. I mean, Tim's got the perfect lawyer all lined up in his head. It just doesn't have the bank to pay for it, right?
I think that might be what he's scratching at here.
Yeah.
All Don has to do is go on WJHL. He's always their lead story. As you know, they pay,
Yep.
I mean, they run their best ads when Don's the top story. When he's on there, why didn't he just throw it out there? We need a lawyer. This is what we need a lawyer for. I'm going to have to pay as I go. I understand. If you can do it for free, that'd be great. If you want to use me as your tax write-off, I'd love it. But this is what I need. I need you to be skilled in defamation cases, blackmail, false representation, privacy issues. I need you to be my official lawyer for the Wells. That's me, Don Wells, for working with DCS. I also have some private matters and, the ongoing case of my missing daughter. So put it out there on WJHL.
Yep.
A sucker is born every day. And I tell you what, there's lots of idiot lawyers out there. There's lots of idiot lawyers.
Oh, yeah, but this is not just any lawyer that's in need, is it? Can't just be an idiot lawyer because Tim would see straight through that shit.
Selena said, no win, no fee. That's what I'm talking about. Why don't you call one of those personal injury lawyers? Talk to them about your defamation case. The first hour is free.
Yep.
The first hour is free. Call a personal injury attorney. Selena, this is genius. They don't get paid unless you get paid. So let's say it goes their way and they get $100 out of McDonough. They're like, all right, you get 60, I get 40. Let's go to the next one. I see Kat. I see Kat on here. So we're going to go ahead. 100's our lucky number. All right. I get 40. You get 60. That girl, she was extra mouthy with you. We're going to go 500 on her. All right. So we're knocking this out. Crime Time needs craft stuff. Anyone want to send me any? What kind of craft stuff? Because, these are very specific lifts, Crime Time.
Do you need craft stuff that specializes in blackmail, false representation, privacy issues? What kind of craft stuff?
That girl said, I'm in.
I'm just laughing at the $100 that you think they're going to get out of me because I don't even think I have 100 pence or 100 cents, let alone $100. But good luck. Good fucking luck.
I'm just using simple math here, Kat. As it's
not helping me.
Not helping me. I love the idea of the lawsuits, though. I do. I love them because then they have to answer as well. There's no courtroom where you walk in unless you plead the fifth and you don't get your say. Everybody gets a turn. Everybody gets a turn to hold the ball.
I really hope they fly me out. Like, I'm thinking, like, I'll fly out like Dr. Phil Styley on, like, business class flights, or what hotel can I stay in when I get there for this court appearance? Like, yeah, I'm looking forward to it. And I am still waiting for my FBI agent to turn up at my door as well. I've been waiting for that for a long time. So
I've been waiting on
I'm
the FBI.
constantly disappointed. So I'm not going to put a lot of hope in this lawsuit, because if I do, I feel like I'm going to be really badly let down.
Okay. Well, you're going to be staying with me, and it is
Okay.
guaranteed you will show up to court in rough shape. Okay.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we're going to
Well, I'm
hit the
not going to
box.
get a limo or anything.
We're going to hit the box wine
Okay, cool. With a straw, yeah.
with a straw right from the spigot.
Yep.
All right. So this might be before I close it down. Before I close it down. Oh, I got two things. Here.
Okay.
Hang on. All right. So this is really important. This is what the TBI said. I'm not going to play the whole thing. This is what the TBI said on the 1-year anniversary
Yep.
of Summer's disappearance. Now, this is when they're talking about they know that people are purposely misinforming the public, and while they're doing it, they're asking for donations.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know who they're talking about.
Yeah. No shit.
I know who they're talking about. Anybody want to take a guess? Let's listen to this, and you guys tell me who you think has involved themselves in this case. I don't mean people that they met through the case. I mean people that have inserted themselves in the case and spread misinformation and lies and change their story, but get donations while doing it. Let's listen to this together.
Okay.
Working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about Summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posts as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation, and not in a good way.
That's from the TBI, not from me.
Mm-hmm. Do you want to know who got the answer first? Or are we going to play the Jeopardy music again?
Oh, do we need Jeopardy music? Who got it first?
So Angie Baby 1967 said JSB, and I think that is the correct answer.
And continues. My question has been the same for a very long time, is what did Summer ever do to you?
Right.
What did Summer ever do to you that you want to continue to spread this? We know who's online every fucking day.
Yeah.
Every day. And says, at first we hear, I wasn't around that day, but I saw all the police cars and everything.
Mm-hmm.
Then we warm up and say, oh no, I was outside and I heard a scream.
Yep.
Now we were there. Oh, then we saw a flash of red.
Footprint.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there was a footprint. There was a scream that was unfounded. The tree trimmers were getting on her nerves because that was the only thing that she literally was texting Andy about all day.
Mm-hmm.
And then 20 months later comes out with, well, I was actually there on that day.
Mm-hmm.
What a wannabe suspect. I'm not being funny, but who puts themselves slap bang in the middle of an investigation going, look at me, 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 look at me. It's like I've never known anyone that wants to be a suspect worse than her. It's crazy to me. Why would you want to be a prime suspect in the abduction of a child? What sense does this make?
Who would want to listen to a suspect?
Right.
Who would want to pay a suspect?
Right. It's literally so she can make money off the back of Summer, which is what she accuses everybody else of doing. And the difference is she's the one that's right there in the center of the action, physically, I guess. Mm-hmm. She makes me sick.
Amy King said, unfounded term for a person who isn't credible. You are 100% right. Once you're deemed unfounded and they cannot corroborate what you're saying, what you're doing now is you're obstructing justice. What did Summer ever do to you?
Right.
You're obstructing justice.
And not just one time, not just saying one thing that might veer the investigation in a different direction, but continuously for 20 months, every single day, putting something else out in there, another spanner in the works, another thing to turn the whole thing on its head. And the impact of that is that people are now then phoning the TBI saying, well, I watched Jodie Sue last night and she said XYZ. They've got enough to deal with. They really don't need someone like her stirring the pot every single day and chucking new things in there that aren't even true. They can't be true, because if they were true, she would have said it 20 months ago. I mean, the Scream thing didn't even come out into the public until like 2 months after. And then she was like, oh, but I had to get away from my abusive husband and all of the rest of it before I could mention the Scream. And then the footprints came out like 2 months later. And then so every couple of months, she's just basically drip feeding shit into the investigation, which makes me so mad.
And my thing has always been, look, the day that you go on your live from the camper channel, when you have a printed out, somebody will print it out for you. I don't care. I mean, email that you have sent to the TBI that says June 15th, 2021. This is everything I heard. This is everything I saw. These are my conversations with Canduswells. These are my conversations with donwells. These are my conversations with Candace Hare. This is what it is right here. I sent it to them. We've never seen that.
No.
Never. She wants to talk to them so bad, and they keep saying she's not credible. She's unfounded. Right. There's nothing she has said that is added up.
Exactly. A flash of red, a footprint, one footprint, a single footprint, not even two footprints, but just one. The second one being over 100 feet away from the first one. The Scream that was classed as unfounded, which, by the way, when I said that and put that out there, I got absolutely slated for saying, because people were coming at me going, how can a Scream be unfounded? Well, guess what? Jodie Sue is not credible. That's how it can be unfounded, because they investigated it and found out that there was no concern or anything about a Scream being heard, that it didn't happen.
Even when people confess to their own crimes, they still have to investigate it. If someone says, yeah, I did. I was in the alley and, whatever. I mean, I don't want to get too gruesome. I murdered this person. They don't just go, oh, okay, well, we'll write all this down and we'll get you, book them, Dana. They don't do that. They have to investigate. I mean, what they say. They can't corroborate anything she says. Crime time, you're right. Why is law enforcement putting up with her shit?
Right. Yeah, I'm sure in this country, I think I said it to you earlier, I think you call it obstruction of justice. We call it perverting the course of justice. Putting this much in the way of an investigation will get you some serious jail time. Serious time. I just don't know why they haven't done it for Jodie Sue yet.
Yeah, she has said evidence was stolen off her property. Right. I can't even tell you. It's too much. It's too much. And I just can't believe that YouTube allows it.
No.
Because you're interfering with a police investigation.
Oh, to be fair, I can understand why YouTube allows it, because YouTube is a law unto themselves in that respect. It's why the police are allowing her to be on YouTube unchecked and unfounded consistently. There doesn't seem to be working with YouTube to stop it. But then again, they haven't arrested her for it. They haven't charged her for it. So, who's got the authority to stop her from doing it?
Well, and if she ever had to testify in court, they would have to start court at 9:00 at night.
Yeah.
And say, all right, we'll wrap up when the sun's coming up. Let's listen to it again.
I think, just before we do, I think Angel P gifted some memberships in chat.
Do what? Angel P?
Yeah.
Angel P, you angel. Thank you, Angel P.
have conducted nearly 170 interviews during the investigation. That does not count the hundreds of phone calls made to follow up on tips reported to law enforcement. While investigators have been diligently working to find answers, they've had to deal with thousands of tips generated by false information that in some cases has been intentionally spread across social media platforms. We know that this case has attracted the attention of individuals across the country who genuinely care about summer and want nothing more but to help us find answers. We appreciate those people. However, we are also aware that there are some people using this case for their own personal gain by spreading false information on social media posts as facts. Some go as far as to solicit donations. This has had a major impact on the investigation and not in a good way. Moving forward, we ask the public.
And not in a good way, but it continues. To me, that's sort of an emotional blackmail to me.
Yeah.
You keep PayPaling me, you keep Venmoing me, you keep Cash Apping me, and you know what? I'm gonna eventually tell you what happened to little
Right.
Summerwells.
Yeah, she's had that dangling in front of people since the beginning. And Pat Kay just gave some memberships too.
Pat, thank you so much. Look at this. Holly, Selena, Level Headed, Michelle, Bleachhead Betty. All right. Thank you so much, Pat. We've missed Pat. I thought I was going to have to go to Canada and track her down. We don't know.
Love Pat.
Pat, you can't disappear on us anymore, Pat. Sword said, how is she cleared when the scent dog stopped at her feet? That's not what they said. They said that the dogs lost the scent at the bottom of the dog trail.
That's what Jody Sue said. That's not what the law enforcement said. That's not what Equisearch said. That's not what the dog handler team said. That's what Jody Sue said in another attempt to manipulate and change the actual story of what happened on that day to suit her financial advantage. She said that herself. No one said that, officially said that about her. Why would the dog stop at her feet? Like, even her saying that, she's not thinking it through. If the dogs had stopped at her feet, she would have been arrested on the spot. Like, sorry, it's getting me angry because that's just ridiculous.
I tell you what, I don't get it. I don't get it. I don't get it. Snow just gifted some memberships. I tell you what,
Snow.
We should just change this to a Christmas show. Where's my Jingle Bells music?
Yeah, forget Jeopardy. It's all about Jingle Bells now.
But she sits there with that mush mouth and that chain smoking, even though she supposedly has cancer. And then she gets called out on her bullshit and then says she didn't say it. It's like, but there's all these people going, but I screen recorded. I sat there for 15 whole hours listening to you.
The internet is forever.
And I sent it to the TBI.
Yep. And then it's all, oh, well, you know, the TBI aren't doing anything for Summer's case. No, the TBI are working through 10,000 tips a night from people reporting stuff that Jody Sue said like 15 hours ago on a live stream on YouTube. That's what the TBI are doing. They're having to put up with all this rubbish going on. The same people phoning in these dumb tips are the same people complaining because TBI aren't doing anything.
Well, we heard Leslie herself say this has caused a lot of problems.
Right. Yeah, no shit.
Because when push comes to shove, we're seeing it right now in the Idaho case. We're seeing it right now with little Quentin Simon. They have to turn everything over. And they have to show, look, I'm going to use simple math. We had 100 tips, and they have to show that they investigated all 100 tips, not any stone left unturned. Not any stone left unturned. They can't say, well, because Jody Sue's full of shit, we didn't investigate it. We don't like her. They have to show. And like they said, this has slowed us down. I tell you what's not slowing here. It's raining memberships. I'm going to go get my umbrella. MK 5 memberships in.
Oh, thanks, MK.
We're just going to start having nothing but members' lives. Hell, this is
awesome.
It would be, unless you play Rihanna. I'm still mad at Rihanna for that. That was just
I
wrong.
know, Rihanna, that was so rude. She was just like, no, I don't think you're having a members live, not using my music, you're not.
I know, and then you went and rained on my parade, and you were like, Brooks, it wasn't really Rihanna that did that.
Oh, I know, but yeah, but just forget that. It was Rihanna. It was Rihanna. I made a mistake.
It was. Before I shut it down, Kat, I'm going to steal some of your content.
Oh, no problem.
If you guys are not subbed to Kat Chats Crime and Coffee, you have to. The docu-series that you did last year for Summer's birthday, to this day, brings tears to my eyes.
Oh, thank you.
If Don and Candace ever want something to look at and they want something to watch in regards to what's important here, which is the disappearance of Summerwells, they need to watch that series you did.
Thank you. I hope one day they will, but
absolutely wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. If I could figure out how to take your watermark off, I would make it look like it was mine.
Going on out there, a lot of detectives going on, but they're absolutely useless unless these people that's 100% positive calls 1-800-TBI fine. That means nothing. We're monitoring all social media and everything that you all put out from people that you all interview. And I assure you, you'd have to work very hard to find somebody that we hadn't talked to. They may not tell you.
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer.
Everybody's a person of interest till we find Summer.
I feel in my heart that somebody has came up here and took her, has lured her away from here.
So far, they have no evidence that this is an abduction case.
Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away, and that's what I told them from the beginning. But they have to go through their, you know, I forget the word.
Investigation.
Do not have any evidence at this point to confirm that's what occurred.
Do not have any evidence at this point to confirm that's what occurred.
Everybody's still a suspect. Person of interest, however you want to put it.
Well, I knew right away that she was abducted. You know, I knew that right away.
That somebody has came up here
evidence at this point to confirm that's what
Everybody's still a suspect. Person of interest, however you want to put it.
You'll be the most beautiful consequence of the world that's coming down. Standing up on our own for the things we know. Raise a voice, hear it echo. Raise a voice, hear it echo.
That is it in a nutshell.
Yep.
You don't need to talk for 3 hours, 4 hours, 5 hours, 6 hours, 7 hours. Well, I need to talk for 2 hours because I love talking to you guys. That's it. You put it all in one video. There is no evidence of abduction.
No. And everyone's still a suspect, person of interest, however you want to call it.
However you want to call it is what he said. However you want to call it.
Yep. And still the same 20 months, or I don't know how many, probably about a year ago, I made that video. So 12, 13, 14 months after I made that video, it's still the same situation now. There's no evidence of an abduction and everyone's still a suspect, person of interest, however you want to call it. Summer is still missing. And that's where it comes down to every single time. It doesn't matter how many hours you talk for. That is the bottom line. Those things remain the same.
Those things remain the same 20 months in. And we're not going to blow off the TBI when they say we're very well aware that people are using social media to spread misinformation. Right. We know that they're actually doing it in their gathering donations as they do it. This has caused a problem. So this is what us as a community, what we do, because it's dangerous out there sometimes. When we go to our other chats and our other groups, we have to remember when these people talk, what did Summer do to you?
Yeah, absolutely.
What did Summer do to you that you want to hinder her investigation? Yeah. What did she do to you? What did her brothers do to you that you want to get off on thinking about their abuse?
Right.
What did they do to you?
Yeah.
That's not pointed at anybody in this chat, by the way.
No.
because you know how we are here.
Yeah, I think it's really true. And that's really such a powerful thing if you think about it in those terms. You know, you can say whatever you want. There's freedom of speech and all of that, you know, First Amendment rights, etc., etc. But when you speak, have a think about what you're saying and who ultimately that affects. Because like you just said, what did Summer ever do to deserve those words to come out of your mouth?
Mhm.
To deserve you acting that way or behaving that way in her name? What did she do to you?
Mm-hmm. What'd she do to you? Why would you hinder her investigation? I have no words for it.
No,
but I'm all about the lawyer. I'm all about the lawyer. I'm all about the lawsuits. I think we can get somewhere with this. This is the best idea Tim's ever had. I volunteer myself first. Vet Girl is very excited about it. I'm going to go ahead and let Vet Girl get sued first.
Yeah, okay. We'll watch the outcome of Vet Girl. I should imagine she will remain triumphant and come back and tell us all about it, and then we'll all be really excited for our own lawsuits coming up, right?
Vet Girl has my email, and we're gonna track this. We're gonna track the lawsuits, because the lawsuits, and I'm being 100% serious about this, 100%, because there have been many other cases where the criminal case is at a standstill. The criminal case is at a standstill, so they take it to civil court, and lo and behold, here comes answers that now have taken a no pun intended, derailed criminal case, and it's back on the tracks, and we're ready to go.
Absolutely.
I'm all for it. Sue away. Please sue. Everybody, of course, we're always going to say a prayer for Summer. Always. We're always. Let's pray for a big ass lawsuit.
Yep. Bring it on. Amen.
All right, guys, you are the best. Kat, amazing work as always. Love having you up here. You're a great friend.
Love being here.
You're a great champion for Summer.
Thank you. I love your channel, Brooks. And thanks, everyone. Have a great rest of your weekend.
Have a great rest of your weekend, and I will see you back here tomorrow. Now, as far as the Ohio case, I'm covering it on the backup channel. It's on my community tab if you want to sub up for that, because people come here for true crime, and if they come in and they're like, what is she doing, acting like she's an environmentalist or something? I'm not. You know better than that. So that's on a separate channel. I just did it on here yesterday to go through it with you guys. So the coverage for that is on the other channel. If you need any help finding it, email me or look at the community tab. It's on the community tab. You guys are the best. I'm telling you, hands down, every day you blow my mind. You don't see this anywhere else but here. You guys are the best.